Welcome to the Decode Your Body podcast. I'm your host, Tasha Miller. Your body shouldn't be the wild card in your life. If you're done guessing, Googling, and outsourcing every decision about your body, you're in the right place. Here, we look at symptoms through body type and pattern recognition so you can start making sense of what your body is actually telling you. This is body literacy, not symptom fixing or another protocol. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast. Guys, where is the summer going? I don't know. Anyway, I am sure you are no stranger to AI. And whether you agree with it or not, when you put it to good use, it's actually amazing what AI can do now. It'll write your emails, help you plan your meals, summarize a book in seconds, and answer questions that used to take us hours to figure out. Now, obviously, we have to have that human connection to it, but I'm a natural problem solver, so I've loved watching what people build with AI. It's actually quite impressive. And I use AI for certain aspects of my business and personal life. And AI knows a lot of information, and it's pulling data from thousands and thousands of sources, but it's also pulling from the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it could be truth or lies, someone's opinions. We really don't know unless we ask for the source. But there's one thing it doesn't have. And that's you. It doesn't know what your body has lived through. The years you barely slept because your kids were little and had colic every night for a year. Hi, that was me, one of my kids. This season that work got so overwhelming that supper became whatever you could throw together just to make sure no one starved. And how your body changed after pregnancy, after surgery, after losing someone with the grief. What's going on in your body during perimenopause or after years of stress finally catching up with you? And what happened when life finally slowed down? See, it knows information, but it doesn't know your story unless you feed a GPT your entire life history. And that's actually nearly impossible. Regardless, AI has been around for a while, and it's really fascinating because we've never had more information available to us at our fingertips than we do right now. If we want to know something, we pull out our phone or computer, we Google, we ChatGPT, check on Instagram, and within seconds, we have an answer. And those tools are really incredible. I use them too. But somewhere along the way, I think we've stopped believing our own observations were valuable. And I just want you to think about that for a minute. You notice something is different in your body. And within 5 minutes, maybe you're asking Google or ChatGPT. I saw this actually a few weeks ago. Someone I know well, if they had a question about literally everything, they were always asking Chat. And I said to this person, whatever did you do before AI? So what about you? You notice that your skin looks different. Your energy has changed. Your digestion feels off. Maybe your hair is shedding more than usual when you get out of the shower. And almost automatically, you leave your own experience to ask someone else what it means, whether that's an AI tool, a search engine, or even a practitioner. Because we assume someone else knows more about our body than we do. And yes, they probably know more about the biology or science of the human body if it's a Google search or a practitioner, potentially, but they don't know your body. They weren't there when your energy gradually started to change 6 months ago, and they haven't watched that little patch of dry skin show up every winter. They don't know your nails have become more brittle over the last year, and they haven't seen your tongue every morning for the last month when you're brushing your teeth. You have. And the problem isn't that you haven't been paying attention. The problem is you were never taught which observations actually matter. And I know that you notice far more than what you give yourself credit for. Maybe you've been bloated after supper for a few nights in a row. So you Google it. And one article says, you need to eat more fiber. The next one says fiber is probably the problem. And then there are several articles with differing opinions saying it's stress, dairy, gluten, or hormones. And 20 minutes later, you've read 6 different opinions, and somehow you're less confident than you were when you started. And if you're like me, how I was, you literally feel like screaming because you're on information overload and you feel like you've just wasted your time. Now, nothing actually changed in your body during those 20 minutes. The only thing that changed was your confidence, because every article is talking about people in general. They're not talking about you. And somewhere along the way, we've become convinced that the answer always lives outside of us. We've outsourced our observations. And when we were little, we noticed everything. We knew when we were hungry, tired, or when something just didn't feel right. And as adults, we still notice those things. We've just stopped trusting that our observations are worth anything until someone else confirms them or validates them. And honestly, I really think that that's just such a shame because your body has been collecting information about you every single day since you were born. And that's pretty amazing if you think about it. It remembers seasons of stress and it adapts and it compensates and it changes. And every single day, it's leaving you little clues, not because it's working against you, but because it's communicating with you. And so, I think about this in my own house. My husband gets up really early for work, and every morning before he leaves, he kisses me goodbye and says, "Have a good day, Tash. I love you." And that's basically my alarm. I get up, wash my face, fix my hair, get dressed, and go to make my bed. And making my bed and making sure the space of my room matters to me because I've noticed something about myself since I was very young. When my room felt chaotic, my mind usually followed. So AI could tell me the history of making my bed, and it could recommend the highest rated linen sheets online and how to make my bed so it looks like it rolled out of a magazine. And it could probably also explain why tidy spaces improve productivity. But it can't tell me what happens inside of my body and my mind when I walk into a room that's organized and tidy versus one that's a mess. And I've learned that because I've been paying attention to that my whole life. And that's the relationship I want you to have with your body. Not this constant worrying, not analyzing every little thing, just paying attention. This morning, I had a rice pudding for breakfast. I made the rice last night, added raisins, coconut flakes, hemp seeds, a little bit of ghee, cinnamon, coconut sugar, and coconut milk, and then left it in the fridge overnight. And this morning, I warmed it up and breakfast was ready in literally 2 minutes. Now, I could have had a smoothie, which is something that I might normally do in the past. Of course I could have. And years ago, I probably would have asked, well, what's the healthiest breakfast? But now I ask a different question. Which food will support my body best? And that's a completely different way of thinking. I've learned that my body responds differently to a warm breakfast than it does to a cold one. And now it's just part of how I live. I feel better. My digestion is better. And I don't have to guess every morning. So whether it's rice pudding or whether I'm making a scrambled egg scramble with some protein, extra protein in it, it's a warm breakfast. And that's the kind of confidence I want for you, not my breakfast, but your version of that confidence. I want you to look at your body with curiosity instead of frustration. I want you to notice your skin changing and think, I wonder what that's telling me. I want you to notice your energy shifting and get curious instead of immediately assuming that something's wrong. And I want you to look at your tongue when you're brushing your teeth. Notice your nails, your hair, your digestion, not because you need to become, obsessed with your body, but because your body is worth paying attention to. And once you know which clues matter, you can't unsee them. You stop looking at your body as something that's constantly interrupting your life. You start seeing it as something that's been telling you something all along. And it saves you so much time and it saves you so much money of wasting on products that you really don't need. Now, AI is only going to keep getting smarter. And next year, it'll probably do things we can't even imagine today. And honestly, I think that's really exciting. And I'll keep using it for good. But I don't think technology will ever replace the relationship that you build with your own body. No algorithm has lived your life, watched your body change over the years, or seen the little things you see every day. Only you do. And maybe that's the skill we've been missing. Not finding more information, but learning how to notice what's already been there our whole lives or in the last few months or weeks. I'm working on something that teaches you how to read the everyday clues that your body's already giving you. So go ahead and get on the waitlist at tashamiller.co/waitlist. You're going to find it in the show notes too. But today, I want you to really start paying attention to your body's clues and really feeling them. I know we live in a really busy world and sometimes we're not paying attention, but I really want you to do that. Okay, thank you for being here this week. I will see you back here next month. Thank you for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, tap follow and leave a 5-star review down below. I read every single one and it helps more women find this podcast. If you want to keep the conversation going, head to tashamiller.co for resources, offers, and all the ways to connect with me.